Howdy, y'all. It's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this August 10th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. God bless you all. Are on the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist. And please hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. I sure do appreciate it. Okay, so yesterday we read the entirety of John chapter 9, and it deals with Jesus healing the sight of a man who was born blind. He gave him the ability to see, healed his eyes, and then the man is brought before the Pharisees, the religious leaders, and they just grill him and question him. They want to know how it was done, how Jesus, who they are just convinced that is a sinner, that it uses the power of demons, how he could do such a miraculous thing. And then it goes into the idea of them being spiritually blind, how Jesus came into the world to give those who are blind sight, but also to blind those who think they can see, right? Let's continue on. We're going to go to John chapter 10 today, and we're going to retouch on a metaphor that has been used before about Jesus being the shepherd and us being the flock. And this is probably the more well-known version of that metaphor where he refers to himself as the good shepherd, right? Let's go to John 10, start in verse 1. Jesus said, "It is certainly true that when a man enters the sheep pen, he should use the gate. If he climbs in some other way, he is a robber. He is trying to steal the sheep. But the man who takes care of the sheep enters through the gate. He is the shepherd. The man who guards the gate opens the gate for the shepherd, and the sheep listen to the voice of the shepherd. He calls his own sheep using their names, and he leads them out. He brings all of his sheep out. Then he goes ahead of them and leads them. The sheep follow him because they know his voice. But sheep will never follow someone they don't know. They will run away from him because they don't know his voice." Jesus told the people this story, but they did not understand what it meant. Verse 7. So Jesus said again, "I assure you, I am the gate for the sheep. All those who came before me were thieves and robbers. The sheep did not listen to them. I am the gate. Whoever enters through me will be saved. They will be able to come in and go out. They will find everything they need. A thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I came to give life, life that is full and good. I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. The worker who is paid to keep the sheep is different from the shepherd. The paid worker does not own the sheep. So when he sees a wolf coming, he runs away and leaves the sheep alone. Then the wolf attacks the sheep and scatters them. The man runs away because he is only a paid worker. He does not really care for the sheep. I am the shepherd who cares for the sheep. I know my sheep just as the Father knows me, and my sheep know me just as I know the Father. I give my life for these sheep. I have other sheep too. They are not in this flock here. I must lead them also. They will listen to my voice. In the future there will be one flock and one shepherd. The Father loves me because I give my life. I give my life so that I can get it back again. No one takes my life away from me. I give my own life freely. I have the right to give my life, and I have the right to get it back again. This is what the Father told me." All right, so he actually uses two metaphors for himself there. So the first one, he sets up the picture here. So think of a pasture or a field, and there's a flock of sheep. Now, during the day they go out and graze, they eat the grass and do their thing, whatever, and the shepherd watches over them. But then at night they go to the sheep pen. Now back then, the sheep pen would have been this ring of rocks, okay, or stones, and it would have been big enough for the entire flock to get through, okay? So there's a ring, and then in one portion of this, low wall, there would have been kind of a dip in it, and that would have been the door, right? So the sheep would enter in through that opening in the wall. And then at night, in order to keep them in, what would happen is the shepherd would always sleep in that divot. He would put himself in that divot and be the gate. So that way, the sheep could not leave or come back in without going through him, right? So that's what he's saying when he refers to himself as, I am the gate. Yeah, whoever enters through me will be saved, and they will be able to go in and out. And anyone else who tries to come into the sheep pen or take sheep out of the pen is a thief or a robber, and they just come to kill, steal, and destroy. Okay, and that's a reference to the Jewish leaders at that time. They, or not even them, but also Satan. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Right, and then he goes on to say that he is the good shepherd. So the gate and the shepherd are more or less the same thing here, but he is the shepherd. And the shepherd not only, you know, guards the way in, but he also watches over the flock. He's there to protect them and keep his flock safe, keep the flock together, right? Person who is hired on to watch the flock doesn't necessarily, have the same connection that the shepherd does. The shepherd is willing to give his life for the flock. That's what he says here. I give my life freely. He's obviously referring to his death coming up. Okay. He gives it freely. No one takes it from him. They might think that they're the ones killing him, that they're winning the fight, but in truth, they're just playing into Jesus' plan, that he is doing this of his own free will. And then one other point here, where in the last section here in verse 16, he says, I have other sheep too. They are not in this flock here. I must lead them also. They will listen to my voice. In the future, there will be one flock and one shepherd. So, this is actually a reference to the Gentiles. So, right now, remember, in his earthly ministry pre resurrection, Jesus' focus is on the nation of Israel, on the Jewish people only, right? That's what he's focusing on, because those are God's people, right? But he knows what's going to happen in the future. He knows that the Jewish people are going to reject him. He's going to die, rising on the third day. And then eventually, what's going to happen is that the focus will shift. That God will say, okay, you rejected the plan. I am going to extend my grace now to the Gentiles, to the non Jews. They will receive the gift of grace. That's the other flock that Jesus is referring to here. It's not time yet for him to gather that flock, to bring them in, but it's coming. And eventually, he says there will be one flock. Everyone comes together, Jew and non Jew. Everyone will be all the same. They will all be children of God, right? One shepherd. The shepherd is Jesus. All right. That's all for today. We're going to pick it up there tomorrow. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.